Another sleepless night, Highness. I'm starting to believe I'm never going to have the pleasure of startling you awake. I would love to see the distress on your face upon being continuously woken. Preventing someone from sleeping is a very effective torture method, but you'd know all about that, wouldn't you? It was the Sorcerer King's favorite practice after all. Silence yet again. You won't, me highness. What are you working on today? Huh? An enchantment to cleanse the world of a village in the south. About time. Those people and their livestock have been relying on rain for far too long. Oh, my apologies. I will back away. I'm always fascinated by this dichotomy of how one's a rotten can have such delicate handwriting. The kitchen prepared a real feast for you. Fresh white bread, salted fish, sweet cakes, fruits, even some dry sausages. A meal fit for a king. Meanwhile, the peasants and the people outside these castle walls are scrambling to gather food for their children. Faced with the land you and your family have left poisoned and hostile. I've been down there. The brothers and sisters of Lida, sleepless trying to lift the curses. The knights and soldiers alike do all they can to organize rations and fend off unnatural beasts. Fathers starve themselves to feed their families. Mothers give birth to stillborns for lack of proper nutrition, and orphans fight with stray dogs over red carcasses. Have you ever tasted red, Highness? It's like swallowing plague itself. After your father slaughtered my family and burned down my home with witch fire, weights made up most of my diet growing up. To this day I still gag at the mere sight of rodents. Yet a child of the Aschenberg sorcerer sleeps in a castle on silk pillows and fed better than his majesty himself. If the people had the strength, we'd likely have riots on our hands, demanding you be burned at the stake. We knights are too loyal to our king, and are off to go against his orders. Trust me, when I say that his loyalty is all that stands between us and the soldiers. We've been forced to execute a few who tried assassinating you. None of us blamed him for their actions. We'd much rather execute you. And you the fortunate one. You even given the second largest room in the castle to store all your father's grimoires and books. I'm no faithful, but dear on the back of my neck since every time I enter the chamber. That demonic knowledge makes my very bones tremble. You, however, must feel right at home. Still nothing. Not even a hint of a smile at the thought of your beloved home. Thanks to your family, this land never had a need for tales of demons or monsters in the dark. The method of your father or brothers passing through kept adults up at night, but being killed by the wicked Ashburn twins was by far preferable than being captured and led back to the Sorcerer King for interrogation, and worse, when he was done with them, be taken to the tower of its youngest child, an apprentice. Your tower, Highness. You heard it was a gift from your father for your 12th birthday. Did you know I was part of the wait? I was first to witness the leftovers of your experiments. Torture chambers filled with bones, blood on every surface, eyeballs and organs in jars. The nearby peasantry said they heard the screams of your victims for years, You even kept records of each victim, detailed with gruesome sketches, and found notes for each one, even found some names of friends and allies. Thank you for showing me exactly how my friends died and what was left of them. What a twisted purpose for that pretty handwriting. When His Majesty asked for someone to become your bodyguard, I did not hesitate. After all, I'd be the one to slit your throat the moment you showed a sign of suspicious behavior, and I would never miss a chance to remind you of your sins. I expected a haughty royal, guiltless and spiteful, for you to demand of luxuries and servitude in exchange for your knowledge of curses. How I relished in the idea of tormenting you, humiliating you, watching you scream at every act of penance you'd be forced to perform. Instead, I was met with a husk of a person, tired face, unfeeling, marked with permanent dark circles and pale as a ghost, following every order without complaint, like an animated puppet. Surely this was a trick to lay low, until you could use your knowledge as a bargaining chip to slowly pick up where your father left off. How I relished in the idea of tormenting you, humiliating you, watching you scream at every act of penance you'd be forced to perform for your enemies. But to add insult to injury, you eat nothing more than tasteless gruel and roots. You stay awake for days on end, breaking down counter spells and crafting purification rituals until you collapse from exhaustion, even going as far as taking upon yourself curses that would kill those too weak to survive them. You never once complained when they bring you to the edge of death, and the instant you recover, do it all over. You only ever wear black, as if you were in mourning. What do you have to mourn for? I shared my frustration with His Majesty, asking him in no uncertain terms why he allowed you such comfort, and he told me a story. After he slew your father and took his throne, you were brought before him to answer for your crimes. You remained silent and scornful, as one expected. Then one of the castle's lace rushed in, stopped the blade meant for your neck. Seems have your attention now. The boy fell to his knees, begging His Majesty to spare you, professing your innocence. You screamed at him to stop. Before I could say any more, the cursed mark around his neck activated, and blood spewed from every part of him. Every slave in your household is bestowed a curse of secrecy to prevent loose tongues from revealing the secrets of their wicked masters. The knights who were present that night said the same thing. You called to him, held him as his blood stained your pretty clothes. You cried over him, refused to let go until you yourself passed out. According to His Majesty, you only said one thing. Why? Why? You could have gone home. I could not believe my ears. To curse the apprentice of the Aschenbach sorcerer, who shares his blood and sick designs, would cry for another. Absurd. Your brothers were known to take many pets for their sadistic amusement and desires. Was the boy favorite one of yours, perhaps? Did he do tricks for you? Fetch sticks? Or maybe warmed your bed at night? Oh, so you are capable of anger? Good. Anger never lies. Stop, or I will not stop, Highness. Not until you answer me. Why was a mess slave more worthy of your tears than your own blood? More than the hundreds of innocents you've tortured and killed. Held in your tower, speak. Nothing. Even as man leave bruises on your wrist. You won't fight back. You let me do anything to you, wound you, throw you down, break your bones, cut you. brand you, force myself on you. Why? Why does an Ashenberg witch feel guilt? Look at me. I was 10 when I lost everything. I heard the goddess call upon me, promising me vengeance for my pain, justice for my dead kin. I'm finally here, closer than ever to what I'm out. Anger, war, and all-consuming, and you're crying for never, no less. I know tears. I've seen so many throughout the years. Despair, horror, fear, anger, guilt, suffering. The latter I've seen the most. Why are you suffering? You do not flinch at the sight of curses or gore. You do not react to the slightest insult. You accept any order. So why does the mere mention of that boy sadden you? Stop begging. It doesn't suit you. Had he not spoken, you'd have been executed then and there, alongside your wretched skin. And yet I've lived finally free of your father's tyranny, free to return to his parents. Yet he gave it all up for you. Oh well, have we nothing else to say? If against all I believe, and all my instincts, you're innocent, why won't you speak up? After His Majesty's revelations, I went to consult the Order of Light. Everything we found in your tower was entrusted to the ushers, so they could be studied then destroyed. The keeper in charge was confused, to say the least. She could sense no darkness coming from your grim records. Every one of you collected bones, blood jars. Organs were indeed human but taken from corpses. Your decorative bells were enchanted to produce horrendous bone-chilling screams and cries when shaken. The faithful thought you might have enjoyed those as one, and just muted but otherwise. She could sense no infection, horror, or miasma, typically left behind by dark magic. This is the book the boy brought with him to defend you, and another of your many journals, detailing the experiments and sketches of your research at the tower. In my preparations for the war, I've learned the basics of dark magic, and a few spells to counter it from the order. I was never any good at magic, but there's one spell I didn't manage to master, the one that makes illusions fade away. Luxem, hidden behind illusions of wicked research and gore, hidden records, records of your father's victims, their names, birthplace, sketches of their faces, why they were brought to the sorcerer. Nothing your family cared much about, and under the crime section, notes about the procedures they underwent at the tower. I've witnessed countless times the monster's mutations your father made of his victims, morphing their bodies into whatever beast-like shape he pleased. But according to the notes, you only changed their faces and altered their memories. You never killed anyone, did you? Why do you shake your head as if I do not hold the proof? I've seen your handwriting too many times to not recognize it. All those people your father gave you to torture and murder, you instead gave them new faces, new memories, and set them free. You set up your tower to give the illusion of horror and death, had enchanted bells to make the screams of your so-called victims so no one would be the wiser, and you'd have played the ward of the wicked witch to the end, until the one person who knew the truth intervened. Now you burn the proof of your innocence. I do not understand, Highness. It is as if you want to be punished for those crimes. You offered your neck to the hero upon your family's defeat. You could have thrown yourself out of a window or let yourself get poisoned. Yet you persist. What was his name? Elroy. And he died because he spilled the secret of his master. Your secret. Is that why you endure? Guilt for a wasted life. One of many have others died in your service as he did. You want to atone for those you could not save. You cannot mean your father's victims. Not even His Majesty, the hero of Frida Sal, could save everyone. How could you have opposed your father? He requested your tower at the tender age of 12. You've been saving innocents from his clutches for over a decade, since you were but a child. The proof is in your many journals, behind a mere concealment spell. Highness, the sorcerer loved no one but his demonic art. Even his children were my pawns, either they served him as he pleased, like the wicked twins, or were just another rat for his experiments, when you yourself merely his apprentice, a useful assistant to his dark designs. He trusted you enough to let you close, and you could have tried to kill him if you truly dared. I don't believe that to be true. The sorcerer was a cunning devil, and much more powerful than you. Are you saying you were an exception? And now your mother died in childbirth, yes. Many of the sorcerers and willing concubines did. She was a sister of a light, the only person to match your father in wit. You believed he played a role in how he treated you. He never hid who he was from you, but still acted as a father, played with you, held you when you cried, did everything to help you, no matter how small the matter. You were the only one he loved. You told yourself he was too cunning and too powerful for you to try anything but what. The truth is that despite everything, you could not bring yourself to kill him, because you, the only one the sorcerer loved him back as any daughter loves her father. Therefore you believe that all his sins are yours to pay for. What are you, Highness? What are you doing? Stand up. You're begging. What for? I mustn't tell anyone, and dispose of all your records. Why would you ask such a thing? An agreement with the king. You will help with the land of the curses and mess my father's magic left behind. Yes, that is why His Majesty spared you. What way to say? Once the land has been healed and the people free to prosper, His Majesty must execute you. Must? Yes, I did say the people are frightened and suffering still, so much that they might turn on each other out of fear or sheer survival instinct. What are you getting at? There must have a common enemy, someone to hate and blame, someone to take all the anger, so they may become strong together again. So a united land may be reborn from the wake of the Ashenbergs. You would die for this cause. Stop talking. Fate truly is cruel. To rob me of my anger. For over a year I believed I was finally paying it back for taking everything from me. I taunted and tormented you, served your rotten food, let yourself be spat on by angry passerbys. Despite your lack of protects, I relished in knowing I was netting a salve of revenge for my pain, and now landed the last of the Ashenberg witches, my one chance at vengeance, as willing to die for sins, uncommitted and to save this dying kingdom. Where does Manga go now, mother of light? Is this all to show me what I've become? A failure of a man who torments the innocent as my enemies did. What did you say? You could erase my memory. Make me forget what I've learned. You'd allow me to return to blissful ignorance and keep on tormenting you till the end. It would be better for both of us. No. Spare me your kindness. I don't think I can handle any more. Take my hand, Highness. Please stand. How many know of this arrangement? His Majesty as well as the 3 knights, and the Sisters of Light who were present that night. I see. I suppose that makes 6 of us now. Yes, Highness, I'll keep your secret. I'll help you erase all proof of your goodness in the world and let it despise you. I'll guard you until your word is the land of its right, no matter how long it takes. And for my atonement, I will remain by your side always. I will shield you from harm and be your sanctuary, for when your burden becomes so heavy, I will be a witness to the kind of sacrifice this world will never know about. And if it pleases the goddess, I will be by your side until the end. I care not what others will think. Let them believe me to be bewitched or mad. My orders are to protect you and your work. After all, if you, Taschenberg here, can endure such a penance, then I will endure mine. A friend, yes, Highness. If you will allow it, I will be your friend. Here, take this. Dry your tears and eat while the food is still warm. And please, no more restricting yourself. You need all your strength. Oh, that's nothing. I'm only noticing how lovely your eyes are. If only I'd care to look for the soul within them. Would you care for a cup of wine? After all of this, I think we both deserve a drink. Oh, very well, Highness. I'll be sure to ask the kitchens for the cheapest one. I will return shortly.